you and I, my futon, fold it up and smoke it. Transgression, a progression of a war we ain't asked for. Transgression, a progression of a war we ain't asked for.
It's madness, yo. All the things that we could talk about.
Call it.
But let's talk about these urban circumstances real quick.
And basically, it's
we got this.
So,
revolution.
Winner's frosty hand. Muhammad is the famed name, forever stand.
Standing on royal fusing of justice for the few, ridiculed by the pale terrorists bent on genocidal obsession, rooted in fear of neglection and abandonment, fueled by nightmares of ancestors' jealousy.
Because at the end of the day, I still want to be able to I don't dislike George Washington.
The kind of friends I think all friends should be like my friends. My friends are the kind of friends I think everyone needs. My friends see the things at times I don't see. My friends hate the police.
What has changed?
Are deemed the criminals, and the blacks are deemed the criminals.
shut up and help.
Reflection ain't nothing but the inner child trying to see you. You gonna look? You gonna pick up that book?
Lord, keep me far from the faith. Guide me through night and day. Teach me your ways. Show me the righteous way to sway. Lord, can you teach me, please? Show me the way, I'd say. Murder. Good morning. You are tuned in to another episode of the Urban Conservative Coffee and Conversations. I'm your host, Chaz Neal, aka the Urban Conservative. Let me start this off by saying good morning. Today is Monday, December 11th. 2 weeks actually before Christmas. For me, I really don't celebrate holidays because I know the real understanding of what some of these holidays are. So I have a real hard time celebrating love and joy when there's so much turmoil and brutality going on. And it's been like that since 2020. I don't celebrate pagan holidays. That's just me. Everybody have their own opinion, their own perspective. When it comes to me, I feel like us lying to our kids is wrong because there's no Santa Claus, there's no Easter Bunny, there's no Tooth Fairy. So we're telling little white lies, and our kids are getting comfortable with lies, little white lies, and that's something that we need to change as people, as human beings, and really just start being honest with each other. And that's one thing that I want to get into this morning. Again, you guys are probably getting sick of Charleston White. I found a video from the interview with the Donza Project. And for me, I feel like it's something that needs to be talked about because if you're not Black, you're not going to feel it and you're not going to see it, but deny it. And we're talking about racism today. That I know that can be such a hot topic in America right now. And honestly, it shouldn't be a hot topic. It should be a conversation that people are open to, that people are able to listen and not asking you to, because you're never going to be able to feel the things that I feel inside. when people look at we're talked about, when you go into a store or you're being followed, by security or by prevention specialists, whatever they want to call them. Or when you go to a job interview or you go to ask for a loan and you have to go in front of a white person, and they may say that they understand, your struggle. They might understand your feelings, but at the end of the day, unless you can actually be black and feel it, you don't have the slightest idea what we're talking about. It used to be one years ago, running cops, but that is something. And I feel like, we can even go back to slavery days and we could talk about Shelley Hemings. If you guys don't know who Shelley Hemings is, she was the I'm not even going to say mistress because mistress makes it consensual. She was a slave to a former president and had kids by him, Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln was in love with Miss Hemings, but they couldn't have a real relationship because he was white, she was black. And even Lincoln's kids, his black kids, he never said those were his kids. No, he didn't claim them. He disowned them. And see, that's where the problem is, because we talk about that one drop, right? Because, in America, if you got that one drop of black in you, you're considered black. And, I see a lot of people doing these DNA 23 ancestry and, other things. But I know for myself, as growing up with a white mother and a black father who I barely knew, and my mom trying to raise me how to be a black man. I'm not going to say that, I love my mom. Don't get me wrong. I don't want this to be no disrespect to any white mother out here who is raising a black child, a black man, a black woman, a black king, a black queen. But you just don't have that. You can't. And this is the one thing that I'm starting to realize. And even I think my mom is starting to realize is that she could never feel the things that we went through. You know what I'm saying? She was on the outside looking in. Just the same with my grandpa. My grandpa was very honest with me. And that's one thing that I always love about Howard Gunderson is that he was so open and honest and told me and taught me how hateful America can be to black people. And again, this is back in the 80s. But what has changed? Nothing, because we're still out here fighting for the same things that our ancestors were fighting for. And what's crazy is I say ancestors, but really what our grandparents, who are scared to talk sometimes, who are scared to go up against a system because they know what that system will do to them, right? Because they've seen the Malcolm X's, they've seen the Fred Hamptons, they've seen the Martin Luther Kings, they've seen the Edgar Medgar, it's my language this morning, Medgar Evers, right? They've seen the Emmett Tills, they've seen the lynchings for just looking at a white woman, right? They've seen the lynchings of innocent black men who did nothing, right? So they know, you know what I'm saying? I listen to Reverend Tim Christopher all the time, and this is a man who grew up in the dirty South, right? In the deep South, and had two different water fountains, a white one and a colored one. We still have people alive today that went through that. And then we wonder why they're scared of you know what I'm saying? But I want to get into this Charleston White interview because he really does drop some knowledge, and I think people need to really pay attention.
I had a real serious argument the other day.
Yeah.
Discussion, the debate. I like I like pushing people to their limits and kind of getting the truth out of them and what they really feel about certain situations and why they feel the way they feel.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about racism.
Okay.
That still exists.
Oh yeah.
So this, I want to hear you roll on this. So
You wouldn't
I'm
believe
speaking
it.
to the individual, and I'm like, I don't think that people really truly understand what racism is. Sometimes you just, I think if you're not black, I don't know if you could feel it. And so me and him are going back and forth, and he's
It's hard to
case.
see it. It's hard. If you're not black, you're not gonna feel it, and you're gonna see it, but you're gonna deny it. We're the only ones that can feel it because we're on the receiving end of it. We're the only ones that can feel it. They can see it, but because certain privileges they have, it muddies the water for them to see it. Because racism is hidden now. It used to be blatant. No colors allowed, whites only. But now it's like this carpet. We can't see all the fiber in this carpet. That's racism. It's embedded in the fabric of this country. It's in the bank loans when we don't get to see who tell us no on the bank loan.
There it is.
It's in the zip code. We don't know who all got diabetes, high blood in this particular zip code. We don't know all the young people that's catching this one particular. It's racism. We can't see it because capitalism have come along and is pushing racism out. It's just that we ain't died yet, the ones who know racism. Our kids don't know it. They don't know what it looked like. They don't even know how to identify it. They know classism, rich, poor. But racism will still exist, even when it's classism, even when it's capitalism, because this country was built on racism. It's embedded in the fabric of it.
Literally. Yeah.
That's why certain races got hate bills and we don't, because racism still matters. That's why Asians have a hate bill, and there's no bill for somebody to say, I'm finna go kill a bunch of black people like they did in Jacksonville. That was a hate crime, but it wasn't identified as a hate crime. It was identified as a mental illness crime. Dylan Roof, man. So we're the receivers of it, so other people can't see it. It looked like we're just complaining and making it up.
Do you think reverse racism is
we don't have no power to reverse it. We don't have a bank where we can deny a white person a loan. We don't set the credit rating scores for the FICO scores. We don't control the school districts, because the school district is where racism is bred and indoctrinated and taught.
But in the simple aspect of it, do you feel like some black people unfairly just hate white people because they're white?
Yeah, but black people now hate everything, not just white people. We can't be racist because we hate one another more than we hate anybody. We some hateful-hearted, prejudiced motherfuckers. We'll say it again. We some hateful-hearted, prejudiced motherfuckers. So we can't dispel racism. We have to teach racism and teach prejudice. Prejudice is a mindset. Racism is an act. It's behaviors.
Prejudice is a mindset.
Yeah, homie.
Racism is an act.
And behaviors, homie. It's all right to be prejudiced. Nigga, you see a bunch of white people snuffing their mouth, you better not eat their food. It's all right to be prejudiced. It's all right, nigga. You don't want your daughter date no black dudes. It's okay. He gonna stretch your pussy out. And she ain't gonna want number black dick no more. It's okay. And you want white grandbabies. You want white grandbabies. But your daughter like rap music and NBA basketball players. So it's all right for you not to want your daughter dating no black NBA player. Homie, we lost one of our greatest rappers. One of our greatest icon wrestling figures because he had a prejudice, not a racism. Hulk Hogan didn't want Brooke with a nigga. How was he wrong? I don't want my daughter with a nigga.
Right.
How, he said, man, I would rather, and then he said, I would, well, if she go get a nigga, I'd rather him, but he didn't use the word nigga. He said black person. He said, I would rather her date a ball playing nigga. How he wrong for saying, homie, they stripped him from the Hall of Fame, all that, homie?
Yeah, they missed what he was saying.
Jerry Jones. A picture come out during Jerry Jones' era in time where Jerry Jones kicking him a nigga in the ass with the white folk. Jerry caught on camera, nigga kicking a nigga in the ass.
Was he? I thought he was just standing in the background.
I think his foot was out there. I don't know.
Okay.
But he part of it.
Caught in the ass.
But
somebody look up the pic.
Hey, but listen, how is he wrong today for doing what they did back in their day? That's what they did back in their day. It's no difference when a white boy come to our neighborhood trying to buy crack. Boy, we go take him through the ringer trying to buy dope.
Yeah.
We was taught not to sell dope to white people. But then the white girl started coming in. Nigga, when that white girl leave our neighborhood, nigga, she gonna be raggling the motherfucker. Cause when she come in fresh into the streets, every dope house go fuck on and trick with her. They go get her car, run her motherfucker car in the ground. But when we get through with a white person, it ain't gonna be no good.
Yeah, they're gonna fuck that Pontiac Sunfire.
Come on, man.
Up, you know
it's
what I
no,
mean?
it's so
Pontiac Sunfire. Come
so
on
that's
now.
the expectation when you see a white person in the hood. So why would we be so mad when it's on the other end, when it's a black person in their neighborhood? Homie, it's like the lion in the gazelle, homie. It's the nature of us. It's the nature of whatever ethnicity to treat us like this. It's in their nature now. Because we've helped them develop the nature on how we treat us.
Oh, man.
Man, do you know why niggas is scared to do something to white girls and white women? Because the white man used to have some, boy, you do something to a white woman, your ass was out of there. They set the nature of, if you do something, man, what they did to Emmett Till. Yeah. What they did to Emmett Till just for whistling at a white woman have 90s. Set the record straight now, nigga. You better not do nothing to a white woman. Shit. They'll do a black woman bad in a motherfucker. But nigga, they won't put no white woman in no video. Did you see what happened?
Charleston brought up, let me remove this for a minute, brought up Jerry Jones in a photograph from 1957, right? And there's Jerry Jones right there. 1957. I'm sure he didn't have a foot out, like Charleston said, but you can see right here. You see Jerry Jones. It's been confirmed that is Jerry. And it's crazy to me that we sit by and we get mad about certain things, but not everything. And that just really trips me out. So I just wanted to say that. And we're going to get back into Charleston.
To the baby when he did that? Put that white woman in that video acting like he was doing, and they were prison. Homie, come on now. Yeah. Shit. We got to go get black women to do that too, homie. We got to go get black men to kill all day. So just our entertainment alone is a reminder that racism still exists for us. That's to keep us in our place, because everybody else is dealing with the standards of capitalism. Capitalism, homie.
It's crazy that you drew the connection between those two, because it's very real.
If you get you some money, if you a nigga that can get you some money, nigga, you can live over racism, but nigga, racism is still here. So you never know when you're gonna have to deal with it as a black person and you're a millionaire. Oprah went overseas and had to deal with it. They still, even though you rise above it, you're not, because of capitalism, it's still a standard for you because you're always a receiver of it.
Now you know me. We've known each other now for what?
Damn near
2-3 months. It feels like a year. Yeah, it feels like a year because we had a lot of conversations. And I'm Latino, Puerto Rican and Dominican. My nephew's black as
Black
fuck,
in the
you know what I'm
motherfucker.
saying? And
Shout out to Jill.
and my problem is with these people who don't understand what racism is. My nephew could get pulled over for doing shit that I do every single day, and I never get fucked with for. And they immediately speak to him like he's a bitch, he's less than. And don't get me wrong, I know my nephew has a motherfucking attitude. I'll never give him the passes if you don't talk like you ain't that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But when he tries, sometimes he still gets treated like he's less than. That shit bothers my soul. And I have I'm Latino, so naturally throughout life, I've always been viewed as I'm in the middle of it.
You are.
You know, and I try to sit there and I have the conversations with people who are Caucasian, and I say, hey, this exists. And they're like, you know, you're just being foolish. You're just, and I'm like, I seen it. I felt it as I felt it as a Latino. I lived in a neighborhood that I was a spick to the police.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was there.
It exists in Puerto Rico, the light-skinned Puerto Rican and the dark-skinned Puerto Rican. The
Haitians and Dominicans.
Yeah, it exists there, but that's not our racism. Our racism is specific that doesn't apply to nobody else but this black here.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else in the world got done like these people here. Nobody else in a free world society is at such a disadvantage as we are here. And it's an obvious disadvantage that won't nobody admit to. Being born black in America, you are at a disadvantage at every institution, at every level of society that you go in. And you better not be a darker black.
Right.
That's another layer of a barrier over you. You better not let your hair grow to be nappy.
Right.
You better not grow no dreads like your nephew.
Mm-hmm.
That
was the basis of the conversation.
You better not take on this look.
That alone.
You feel like people with dreads that are black get looked at differently.
I know. That's why I cut mine.
Yeah.
I had dreads.
It's not right.
Our Supreme Court said it's okay not to hire them people with their hair like that. That the jobs can do this. Homie, no other person has these type of. We always have somebody over us, no matter if we go get a job. Our truth is always questioned compared to anybody else's truth. Always. If there's a problem and they can't identify who the exact problem is, we're automatically assumed to be the problem. If we complain or if we disagree, we're automatically discredited our complaints. But don't let us become angry about something that's valid. Yeah. The fact that we became angry and we're showing our anger, our complaint is no longer valid because we're angry and we're black.
Yeah. Out the gate.
Homie, they'll dismiss us. And they use that excuse. Well, he got angry, he was talking loud. So that's a tool that they always use. The angry black man, the angry black woman.
It's true. I had a employee that worked for me. Black dude, 6'2", 230, big dude.
He can't get angry.
Big dude. So, but I'm telling him, and a lot of the people that we work with are Jewish. It's a lot of, and white people, Russian people, things like that. And he had a situation where he lost his cool. He was expressing himself. And I said, listen, bro, I had to pull him to the side. I said, listen, you don't have the ability to express yourself in that way because all they're going to see and write that off as
the angry black,
the big angry black guy.
You just
said, even if you're right.
Let's stop right here. This is very important. You just said 3 adjectives. Mm-hmm. If you're big, that's a strike against you, black man.
Automatic.
If you walk into a job, you walk into the hospital, you walk into a restaurant. If you big, that's a strike. Mm-hmm. If you dark, that's a strike. If you get angry, that's a strike. If you don't smile, that's a strike. If you can't greet, that's a strike. If you take away the big, little small guy like me, caramel brown, you don't pose a threat. See,
That's, and I ain't trying to cut you off. I just think it's important that you're saying that and you're saying that, because that's how I look at it and how I view it. I've been Latino. I grew up in a black neighborhood. I moved to a white neighborhood when I was like 13, 14 years old. I saw that it was changing, right? Like I moved to a Latino neighborhood first, and I moved to a white neighborhood. And I noticed that the way everybody was sizing each other up, it's because white people feel comfortable talking to a Latino with my complexion. They feel comfortable saying what they said. Oh, well, he's a good one.
Yeah, well,
You know what I mean? I heard the conversations plenty of times. I kept my mouth shut.
you have to think. There's always a thought. What if I saw him in the back alley? That thought is it gauges them on how they look at us. So, homie, in the job interview, nobody wants to hire the big black guy, because if we got to fire him, who's going to tell him? Same with the jewelry.
You can tell him.
So if you're big and your voice is deep and your voice is loud, you scare white people. You scare people.
Even if you're right. Even if what you're saying is true.
Even
valid.
Even if you're a friendly guy and your voice is loud.
The complexion for protection, like somebody.
Come on, homie. So I teach young niggas that, homie. I teach young niggas, say, homie, you better not be no little black ass nigga getting in trouble when you got to go in court. The darker you are, the more time you'll get.
Hell yeah. And if you think any other way about it, you're losing your motherfucking
the darker,
mind. It's okay to look at this and see it and understand it's obvious. It's okay. It's okay to understand that this shit is going on. Man, it's okay to understand that you might go get into a situation, and if you go with your light-skinned black friend, you're good. If you go with your dark-skinned black friend, they're gonna automatically assume something different of you. I've been there.
If Kodak Black looked like y'all, he would get the same affection that Extension got.
Yeah.
But because he's a dark black little kid, black little ugly motherfucker, struggling with what he's struggling with, he don't get the same
breaking news out of Minneapolis. We have breaking news out of Minneapolis. Marvin Haynes' conviction has been overturned this morning. Marvin Haynes is officially a free man. Free Marvin Haynes. I really, this, oh my God. This, I don't even know what to say right now. This is, I'm not even going to say insane. I'm happy. I'm ecstatic that Marvin Haynes will be home for Christmas. Marvin Haynes is officially a free man. December 11th, 2023, Marvin Haynes has been free. Marvin, I'm going to say that again. Marvin Haynes' conviction has been overturned. Breaking news. Marvin Haynes' conviction overturned. Haynes has spent 18 years in prison for first-degree murder. Hennepin County District Judge has just tossed out the convictions. Haynes will be freed today. That's big news coming out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. That makes me just want to cry right now. Marvina, love you. I am so happy that your brother is finally being free. No better feeling in the world, because the truth shall set you free. And I want people to realize and understand this, is if you are innocent, keep on fighting. Keep on fighting, man, because we have way too many people behind bars that are innocent, that are wrongfully convicted and do not deserve to be behind there. We have Philip Vance, Cornelius Jackson, Timothy Magruder, Bobo. We have so many brothers that the system has stolen. And if we keep on, this is the one thing that I know. If you fight the righteous way, this is what happens. The truth shall set you free. The truth shall set you free. And I'm over ecstatic. I'm glad that Marvin Haynes will be out of prison today. That is there's no I'm right before Christmas too. Big ups to the Haynes family. Big ups to Marvina for keeping that your brother's name out here. And I know, oh my Lord, everybody's gonna want to interview him. I'm just over ecstatic. I can't say anything more. Marvin Haynes is free. I want people to know that. So let's get back to Charleston. We got about 4 minutes left on this video.
If he was like Justin Bieber sipping syrup, dealing with what he was dealing with.
A good friend of mine, my boy Kenny. Shout out to Kenny P. He helps do some of the computer work for the podcast.
Right, shout out Kenny.
Back in the day when we were younger, he had a Charger, black tents, police cop lights, sound system, everything, the whole works. We over there schmouking, doing the thing. We cut off in the parking lot. We get pulled over, and the police say, "Wow, you've built this thing from the ground up. Pop the hood. I want to see the engine." But let Kenny would have had dreads, some golds, and a black and mild. It wouldn't have been none of that. Oh man, you really hooked this thing up. Let me see what's under the hood. It would have been like, get out the car.
You gotta be to not admit that, to not understand that.
Saying,
I was in a car. I was in a car wreck. I was rear-ended from behind from a blonde hair, blue-eyed white woman with a Louis Vuitton purse. She was texting and driving. When it got time to settle the law insurance, my gold teeth was a factor. When we went to court, the lawyers wanted my gold teeth out because it hurt the jewelry. When I take the stand to talk about this wreck, they want to know where you went to high school at. And I'm thinking, man, what this got to do with the wreck?
Yeah.
Well,
somebody ran a red light. What that got to do with anything?
Well, here's the thing, man. This is what we don't know. Racism exists. This is what it got to do with it. Nobody wants to give this black guy with gold teeth in his mouth no $250,000 from a car insurance wreck from this white woman. And we know he deserve it. He should get it. But he can't prove he's really just hurt. And he got some things on his background as a black guy, but his white jewelry is not going to award him this.
Yeah, he went to MLK High School.
So let me show you what. So, homie, listen. I had to see a neurologist. They offered me $55,000, but the lawyer is suing for like $100 and something for the whole insurance policy, and I was really injured. As a black man, they want to know. They'll settle with a white person, homie, if he can prove, yeah. But with a black person, the insurance company know your color matters. Your insurance is higher because you're black and you live over there in that black neighborhood. So the question was, during the deposition, they ask you, have you ever been convicted of a crime of moral turpitude?
Fuck.
Most people don't even know what moral turpitude is. That can be anything. Right? So in the deposition, I'm saying stuff like, well, I got a girlfriend, but I got several other girlfriends, and the wreck is interfering with my sex life. I'm speaking culturally. When I get on the stand, this white lawyer know that all of these white people are mostly married, and they're gonna look down on the horny black guy because they think the black guy all he want to do is sleep with a bunch of women.
We don't want to pay this man.
Come on, so
you gonna fuck their wife.
Come on, but listen. So the stereotypes begin to sit in based on racism, and so now they saying I ain't getting him nothing, even though you're really hurt. So the white lawyer know the more I ask him questions. Well, what high school you go to? Well, I didn't go to high school. Oh, you didn't? I got my GED. Oh, that's great. Well, where do you get your GED? They already know when I say I got my GED from getting state home and school. Well, what is getting state home and school? She knows it's a juvenile facility that house murderers for children. So well, getting state home and school is a boy's home. Well, what did you go to get? I object, Your Honor.
Yeah, what that got to do with this accident,
Your Honor,
coach?
this has something to do because we asked him a question during the deposition. Have he ever been convicted of a crime of moral turpitude, meaning that you possibly would lie about something. You know, he went to jail for murder. Now the jury ain't finna give you nothing. I did, but man, I had a car wreck. This ain't got nothing.
You still hit me.
This how you get discredited, black man.
Yeah, because it was just breaking news. It was literally breaking news, and I was flipping through Twitter, and yeah, seen it pop up, man. Because Fox 9 did another. Oh shit. Oh, I'll call it back. Man, it's a blessing, man, that Marvin Haynes is free. I want to talk about a little bit about Charleston and what he was saying about racism and how if you're not black, you can't feel it. You definitely can't. You're not going to be able to understand how a black person feels, understands. And I'm going to get off here because my phone is blowing up. I want y'all to have a great day. Today is going to be a great day because justice has won. Justice and truth and transparency has won today. Marvin Haynes is free. So with that being said, win or fail, freedom or jail, heaven or hell, wish me well. Y'all have a great one.
Every day, fighting for my life. Every day, fighting for my life. Fighting for my life. Fighting for my bread. Grew from the seed you thought was rot. I think not. Fire bred desire to rise above denial.